Hello and welcome. My name is Jessica Gem, and in today's video we're visualizing a happier story for our D&D friends. If you've seen any of my D&D related content, you know that the characters of Celestia really go through some unfortunate circumstances. After a few particularly distressing situations in a row, I needed a bit of a lift of spirits, which is where this piece came from. Leah, in preparation for her plan, made a haven for Rael's newly reunited family to live in safety and peace. It was a temple-like structure filled with plant life and comfort. She built it inside a pocket dimension only accessible by those permitted by the family, making it the most secure option she could create for them. Using that as a location base, I decided to bring everyone together for a happy family scene, even though realistically this could never come to pass, as many of those depicted have already been lost. I wanted to include the Deus lineage, as well as their closest friends. To start, we have Leah and her adopted son Jeremy. Leah, who had worked so hard and eventually gave up everything to bring as many of these people back together as she could. And the most distinct legacy of hers, completely separate from Rael, Jeremy, an excellent and noble fighter. Sitting together having tea, we have two of the Lullabye. V4, the one who had ascended to godhood and who gave up their soul in exchange for the resurrection of Vulpes Prime, and Archie. V6, who renamed themselves Usagi, one of the clones that had taken up a new identity and a new life, starting with their wife Ira, who is sitting next to them. Our next little group has Alyssa, once a child who had their memories infused by Vulpes in order to save them, now an independent, free-spirited young monk who travels all over on adventures. We also have my dearest Archie, the one who Rael would and has moved heaven and earth for, and their curious Sachi, a little girl who loves knowledge and secrets. And of course, the patriarch of the Deus family, Nathan Deus himself, a man who dedicated his life to helping others, no matter the cost, taking a well-earned rest. And beside him, his loyal companion, the sentient armor known as Shine, a helper and protector for many of his adventures. We of course have friend of the family Shadow, who has been a great help and a loyal member of the original group from his, Rael's, Vulpes' and Acho's arrival for their whole lives here, as well as his adventurous daughter, Light, who is now a crucial part of the kids' crew. In a tender mother-daughter moment, we have Rael and her sweet darling Linnell as they were meant to be. Rael, who only ever wanted peace and happiness for everyone she met, and maybe a few good books to enjoy. And Linnell, not taken by the demon, but living happily with her family from the beginning, as is right. And our final trio, Vulpes Prime, resurrected at the same time as Archie, instead given a second chance at a completely new existence with the family. Kima, the birth son of Nathan and Fumua, comfortable living with his family here instead of the Feywild. And the children's dear friend Quinn, whose true story I have not yet revealed here, but is a critical part of this household nonetheless. And as a slightly later addition, Aziria, one who Vulpes has wished to be revived for a long time. Another version of them that came into their own existence and started a full life. Now to talk about the process for this one a bit more since it's so big. As you may have seen briefly at the start, I had an image up that I used to get the perspective down. For this, I actually, hold your judgment for a moment and hear me out, used AI to generate it as a base. I'm not super great at backgrounds, and I needed a really specific angle and construction for this, so I spent a little while tweaking the prompt until I got something that I could reference. I didn't actually use it as the background, just as a perspective reference for the specific view I needed. This is how I feel AI should be used in art, as a tool to assist the actual artistic process, not as a way to replace it. Anyways, I also spent around 12 hours on a background that I didn't end up using because I really didn't like how it was turning out. Yikes. With the full background, all the different characters, and all the coloring, shading, and lighting, this piece took me absolutely ages. The time on my recording says 260 hours. I don't think that's actually accurate, as it also counts the time when the app is just open on the canvas, but it was still definitely over 150 hours. Oof. Overall, I think it turned out pretty good, though there are definitely some parts that could have been much better, especially on the characters, but I'm still proud of all the effort I put in, and it is a bit cathartic to see everyone together like this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed bringing the family together for a moment of joy. If you enjoyed this video, please grant me a like, and if you'd like to see some more of my art, subscribe to join me. That's all for now, so farewell and have a wonderful day.